Hey everyone, today I'm going to be doing a video talking to you about the training class that I just took this last weekend with Spartan Training Concepts. Now, if you've been following my channel, you know I've taken a lot of classes through Spartan Training Concepts. I'm a big fan of what they're doing up there, and I've already gone through the American Rifleman course before, but this time I decided to do some things differently than in a lot of the other training classes I've done, just so I can aid in my own training as well as get some experience with some different types of equipment. So first up, what I want to go ahead and do is run over the equipment that I use throughout this class and then go into what the class entails and give you a better idea of what you can expect if you were to take the American Rifleman class through Spartan Training Concepts. So first up, I used my Riley Defense AK-74. If you haven't seen the other videos I've done on it, I have a full review on this. This is built on a Bulgarian kit by Riley Defense. And this was an opportunity that I wanted to do to put this rifle through a little bit more of an intensive style of training, just so that I could get a better idea of how much I can trust this rifle before I start putting a ton of money into kind of bringing this thing into the 21st century. I know the Nyet rifle is fine, people. Me personally, I like to kit this thing out so that I can better use it in whatever scenario I'm in, doing things like adding vertical grips if I need it, or really specifically adding a light system to this. Now, as far as the mags that I ran through this, as you can see, I have in here right now one of the translucent Polish magazines. These things actually ran great. I ran these translucent mags. I had two of those. I had two Bulgarian mags, non-circle 10 mags, but Bulgarian mags. And then all the rest of my mags were Magpul P mags. Now, I did run into some issues with the P mags. Overall, they ran fine, but I had two specific magazines where no matter what I did, when I would slap in a new magazine and go to rack the charging handle, a round would not chamber. I don't know what it is, and I'll roll in a picture of those magazines because I've left the top rounds in them. You can see where the bolt is just riding and hitting those rounds, but not actually picking up the round. I don't know if it's an ammo thing, if it's a specific mag thing. What the deal is, I haven't had a chance to really troubleshoot it yet, but I want to let you guys know about that. Now, as far as how I carried mags, I used this Strike Hard Gear AK-47 chest rig. Now you can use it for AK-47 mags or AK-74 mags. I've actually used, anytime I've taken an AK training class, this is the one I've used. This was the first time using it with the 545 mags. So I went ahead, normally they have little bungee retainers. I went ahead and took all those out for this class just because the way the 545 mags sit, it just wasn't quite working out. But this is what I used. I had a little pistol mag pouch. I had it over here, and then I had a little comms pouch over here. Now, one of the things you'll notice from these mags, as well as the mag that I just had, one of the things that I recommend doing is labeling and marking your magazines to make them A, easier to find, and B, help you isolate magazines that are causing issues. So again, those Magpul P mags that I was having issues with, I had them numbered. So once I saw multiple failures coming from the same magazines, I just decided to throw those magazines to the side and have some backup magazines ready to go. Now, really the only other thing that I was running for this class was an outside the waistband holster from Westac. I'll actually be doing an in-depth review on that holster here in the near future, so I'm not going to cover too much in detail for this. It was just an outside the waistband holster for my Glock 19. Now, as far as the class itself, what I'm going to be doing is rolling in footage from the class. Most of the footage I got is of other people running the drills because I was behind the camera most of the time, obviously. Although I did hand off my camera a couple times to get footage of myself going through the class. Although a lot of the class, it was either snowing or it was sleet, so I wasn't able to bring my cameras out. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to get as much pictures or video of the class as I would have liked to, but I'll try to roll in the footage that I do have. Now, I want to go ahead and preface the description of the class itself by kind of, I guess, defining my terms a little bit. And I want to differentiate two different types of schools. In my opinion, there are schools that teach you how to shoot, and there are schools that teach you how to fight. Now, both schools are absolutely necessary because there are people at different learning levels that need different sorts of things to learn. And the places that teach you how to shoot are really just focusing on the fundamentals and just drilling those until it becomes muscle memory. So you're getting the basic shooting fundamentals: sight alignment, sight picture, shooting or trigger control, breathing, all that kind of stuff, just to get you familiarized with the type of firearm that you're using. In those classes, you might get to the point where you're running some little bit more intricate drills, but really the focus is on those fundamentals. Now, in a school that teaches you how to fight, You do cover those fundamentals just to make sure everyone's reading off the same sheet of music, but a lot of the emphasis on those classes is the mindset of getting into a gunfight and how to get yourself out of a gunfight, and then also a little bit more dynamic drills like shooting on the move, shooting with other people, doing bounding drills, doing team drills, all that kind of thing to teach you how to actually fight using the firearm and those fundamentals. And as far as I'm concerned, Spartan Training Concepts is a school that absolutely is geared towards teaching you how to fight with your firearm. Now, that being said, we did have some people who were very inexperienced in this class, and it seemed as though they were able to kind of pick up on the fly and kind of keep up pace with everyone just fine. And part of that is just because the instructors at Spartan Training Concepts are very good at meeting individuals at their own independent skill levels where they're at. A lot of those early drills are not only to help you get, again, zeroed in, make sure everyone's got a nice zero, get you familiarized with the course itself, but it's also there to allow the instructors to be able to gauge each individual student, what their competency is, and how far they can kind of push each individual person as the course progresses. So the first day, you start out, again, just establishing a basic zero on your rifle, making sure everyone is working with a working rifle and a zeroed rifle, and then we start getting into a little bit more of the how Spartan Training Concepts wants you to manipulate your firearm. So things like how they want you to do your reloads, how they want you to do the scanning and assessing after each drill, how they want you communicating, all that kind of thing. Again, just so that they can start building on those skills, building on those lessons to start getting more and more intricate. By the end of the first day, we've shot at everything from like 10 yards to about 150 yards. We've shot in multiple different shooting positions, and we've done quite a bit of moving in between positions. So running from one position to another, getting from one position into another, etc. At the beginning of the second day, that's where things start ramping up. Again, now that they know everyone's reading off the same sheet of music, understanding the different fundamentals correctly and in the same way, that's when they start getting into things like moving and communicating with other people while firing. In addition to the movement, that's when they also start incorporating a lot of the cover drills. So making sure you're adequately using cover, showing how to pop out from different angles and how to change up those positions so you're as unpredictable as possible. So there's one of the drills I can roll in is a lateral movement drill, just a nice, simple back and forth, making sure that people understand how to move your legs independently from your torso, kind of move like a turret, engage those targets while you're moving, and then they start ramping it up to doing serpentine drills, moving around moving around barriers. And they also like to set up drills where there's plenty of no-shoot targets between you and the intended target to make sure that you are making sure you have good muzzle awareness, to make sure if there's a no-shoot target in front of you, you drop that muzzle down, muzzle up, whatever your personal preference is, to make sure that you're not sweeping someone in a real-world scenario that doesn't need a gun pointed at them, for example. But one of the places where I think Spartan Training Concepts excels, at least as far as other training that I've taken, is that shooting and communicating with other people. Because let's face it, in a real-world scenario, if we're using a rifle, we're probably going to be in close proximity to other people that we probably train with on a regular basis, at least hopefully. So it's really important to know how to effectively communicate with those people and have a familiarity so you can move safely around those people while doing live fire exercises. So again, working with the baby steps up, they slowly progress to the point where, you'll have two people on either side doing bounding drills, moving forward, moving backward, maybe a little bit laterally, all while maintaining safe muzzle awareness and good communication with the people around you so that everyone knows where each other is at and what the current goal is. And then that all builds up to the final exercise, which I don't want to go too in depth into because they like to keep that a little bit more of a surprise so that they can throw some unexpected things in for the students. But it's a really good culmination of all those skills, making sure everyone is moving, communicating, engaging the targets, and doing some casualty care as well, which is all extremely valuable things to practice in a safe learning environment. Now, Spartan Training Concepts has a lot of classes, and they're going to be adding more classes here in the near future. I've taken their pistol classes, their rifle classes, their medical classes, their combatives classes, all of which I have gotten an immense amount from. And again, we've had people in all those classes, we've had people at many different skill levels, and each of them were able to glean something for themselves. Everyone, as far as I could tell, felt safe and confident in the individual tasks that they were doing. Again, a lot of that going to the instructors being able to meet individual students at their own skill level where they're at. So I'm going to go ahead and post a link to Spartan Training Concepts in the description just so you can check out their course curriculum for yourself. I know one thing a lot of people here in the Pacific Northwest complain about is the lack of good, affordable places to train. And hopefully with this video, I'll be able to hopefully encourage you towards places like Spartan Training Concepts so you can get that good, high level of training without having to go halfway or all the way across the country. And for what it's worth, Spartan Training Concepts also hosts a lot of other instructors. So like they do John Hurth of Tier Group, which I've done the man tracking class. I have a video on that if you're interested. And he usually comes back at least once a year to do different classes. They've hosted Tactical Response. They've hosted John Lovell. So they're always trying to bring in other people and get a good diverse set of classes for people to take. And now that I have taken this class, what I'm going to be able to do is do some reviews of the equipment that I was running in those classes. Again, I don't know if you noticed, but the optic on that AK-74 is the primary arm Cyclops. So I'm going to be able to do a review on that now that I really wanted to run it through a class setting to really kind of put it through its paces. And given the snow that we were dealing with, I feel very confident in that optic now. And I'm going to be doing reviews of some of the other equipment I was using in that class. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, go and throw those in the comment section down below. If you have specific questions about Spartan Training Concepts, I would again go to their website, contact them that way, so you're getting better information from them because I can't answer all the questions that they could, obviously. So definitely check those out. If you're interested in becoming a patron, I post all my content over there early. We do some exclusive content for them, giveaways, live streams, etc. So if any of that interests you or you just want to be able to financially support the channel, definitely check out my Patreon. And if you like the shirt that I'm wearing, this is one of my own design. Gun rights are kind of under threat here in the Pacific Northwest, and I wanted a shirt to let people know, hey, not everyone on the left coast feels the same way as some of our politicians do. So a shirt like this will help you communicate that as well if you'd like to. And I'll have a link to these shirts down below. So anyway, with all that said, as always, I hope you're able to get something out of this video, and I really appreciate you watching.